Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning. It's Friday morning, 27th of March, and it's another lovely, lovely sunny day. I can look out across the road. It was lovely, wasn't it, last night at 8 o'clock when we stood on our doorstep and we saw neighbours on their doorsteps, and the wonderful result of this so far for us is that we have talked with people we don't normally talk much with. People are much more communicative than they were because we don't see many people out and about, and when we do see them we speak, but at a distance. Well, I woke this morning thinking, I don't know if you're like me, when you read the scriptures there are times when you think, I wonder what it was like experiencing what I'm reading about. And I try with my imagination to think how something felt or what it was like for the people involved, to learn more from it, really. And I think I was reminded waking up this morning that there's an Old Testament and a New Testament experience that we are being given the privilege, I suppose, of sharing in, so that we can understand it better. And the Old Testament one is, of course, the wandering in the wilderness. Oh, this has come from having caught the tail end of last night's question time. I don't normally watch question time. I find it very depressing and irritating because of some of the things that are said. But we caught just the tail end of it because it's on earlier now. And the last question was, how long is this lockdown going to go on for? And the answer was very depressing, really, was we don't know. And it reminded me of the wandering in the wilderness, when the children of Israel had made all the parts of the tabernacle and set it up, and their journeyings began in earnest, and they were given all the instructions about how to dismantle the tabernacle and in what order the camp was to set out, and so on. But then there's this lovely bit in Numbers. Do read it if you get a chance today. Numbers 9:15 to 23. I'm just going to read the middle bit of it, verse 19. Even when the cloud stayed over the tabernacle many days, the Israelites carried out the Lord's requirement and did not set out. Sometimes the cloud remained over the tabernacle for only a few days. They would camp at the Lord's command and set out at the Lord's command. Sometimes the cloud remained only from evening until morning. When the cloud lifted in the morning, they set out. Or if it remained a day and a night, they moved out when the cloud lifted. Whether it was 2 days, a month, or longer, the Israelites camped and did not set out as long as the cloud remained over the tabernacle. But when it was lifted, they set out. And I've often thought, what was it like to be in a camp like that, where, you set up, and I suppose as a woman you sort of think, well, I'll get tea ready, and you start cooking, and the cloud lifts, and you've got to pack up again and move. Or you're sitting there and you think, well, no, it's been days, it's been weeks, it's been days and days and days, and the Lord has not asked us to move. And here we are, just waiting without an end in sight. And that's what situation we're in, isn't it? And then the other situation that I was thinking about was when the Lord promised to come again. And at the beginning of Acts chapter 1, I think it's verse 6, just before the Lord left them after all the resurrection appearances, just before his ascension, his disciples said, so are you going to set up the kingdom in Israel now? So is it going to happen now? Are you going to become Lord and King over everything now? And the Lord said, I'm not telling you not to know. You've just got to wait. All you've got to do is, when the power comes to you, be my witnesses. Wherever you go, be my witnesses. And Christians have been his witnesses for over 2,000 years, waiting for him to come. And we're in this no man's land now, aren't we? Waiting for permission to go back to our ordinary everyday lives and to meet again and so on. And we don't know how long it's going to be. Like the children of Israel did not know how long it was going to be. And the early church, some of the letters that Paul wrote, he had to say to people, you must carry on with your lives. You must live from day to day. He is going to come back, but we don't know when it's going to be, and we have to be ready for when he comes. so we can experience what it's like to wait for the Lord. And the lesson we must learn from the Israelites in the wilderness is not to murmur. I know it's going to get tiresome. I know we're going to get fed up with it. At the moment, it's still fairly novel, but if it does go on for weeks and weeks and weeks, which we pray it won't, but if it does, let's be very careful not to get to the point where we murmur. Let us see every day as an opportunity to serve the Lord, whether we can only be at home, seeking Him, praying for others, not just for those suffering from this virus, but for all people everywhere, all sorts of things. And thank you, Liz, for our newsletter, which came out yesterday on the email. Hope you all got it. And there was a little bit in there about Release International, who we support as a church, and they support Christians who are being persecuted around the world. And if you get time, you could pop to their website and have a look at stories of some of the people and places that they are involved in, and see what needs praying for. What we are experiencing is as nothing compared to what some of our brothers and sisters have experienced around the world as they serve the Lord faithfully. So be faithful today, my dear friends, and brothers and sisters. Be faithful today in your service of the Lord, and God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.